Hi everyone, this is Kalyan Kumar and welcome to my channel Product Review. In this video we are going to be unboxing and reviewing a product from Kingston called the Kingston Mobile Lite Wireless G3. It's a device that increases the storage capacity of your smartphones and tablets wirelessly, as well as acts as a power bank to charge them. Stay tuned in. The Kingston Mobile Lite Wireless G3, also known as MLWG3, which is quite a mouthful, is a wireless streaming device that streams contents like music, pictures, videos, documents from a full-size SD card, because it has a SD card slot, or for that matter even a micro SD card with a SD card adapter. It also has a USB port, so you can access the contents from a USB pen drive or a USB enabled hard drive, your 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte hard drive perhaps, and access all of them on your mobile phones, tablets and computers. Just like the SanDisk Connect wireless stick and the Western Digital My Passport wireless, this device generates its own Wi-Fi hotspot to which you can connect your tablet or mobile phone or your computer and access the contents. But unlike the other two, it does not have a storage of its own. It depends on the storage of the devices inserted into it. So you insert a SD card or a micro SD card, you can access all its contents on the mobile device. If you insert a pen drive or a hard drive, you can access all those contents on your mobile device. And obviously, just like the SanDisk and the Western Digital, this has its own app. So you got to download that app, install it in your tablet or mobile phone. For a computer, you don't need an app, you go through the web browser. So once you install the app, you open the app and you can access all the contents, and you can stream content or you can download content to and fro. That means some contents from your phone can be dumped into a pen drive or an SD card or a micro SD card or a hard drive, so the data can move back and forth. The second thing it also does, it charges your mobile phones, so it can act as a power bank. So in case you misplace your power bank for a while or your power bank is not charged, this can act as a backup power bank. I'll still have it as a backup power bank, not the main power bank, because it has got much more other utilities than just charge your devices. So you would rather have its battery used for those services. The third thing it does is that it connects to your home network, either wirelessly through Wi-Fi or through the Ethernet cable. It has an Ethernet port in it, and it can be used as an access point. Now basically what I mean by this is that this can be connected to your home Wi-Fi, and then you connect to this device, browse its contents, or the contents of the device is connected to this, and then also will be able to browse the net, because this acts as a Wi-Fi pass-through. The Wi-Fi passes through this to your mobile phone. Another important aspect of this device is that if you are going to a hotel or any particular place where they do not have wired networks, they have only Ethernet cables, you can connect this to your to that particular Ethernet cable, and this can be used as a Wi-Fi router. It will generate Wi-Fi, and the internet of that hotel through the wire can be utilized by your tablets and phones wirelessly. So it's got a lot of utility in it. So let's go and unbox this. First we'll see the contents of this, we'll see the construction of the device, we'll see the accessories that it comes along with, we'll switch it on, and then we'll connect it to your mobile phone or tablet and computer and see how to access contents from them. We'll move files from one to the other. And there are a few experiments which we'll perform on this, which I've been wanting to do once I unbox this, to check out whether it works or not. So that is something which is a mystery which we're going to solve right after we unbox this. So let's go ahead and do it. So let us unbox this device. First let's see the front part. The front part shows the image of the device. An SD card can be put, a USB flash drive, or you can use it to charge your mobile devices. Mobile Lite Wireless G3. Backside, some information here. Google Play Store, App Store and Amazon Store. All these stores have the required app that you need to install into your mobile device to be able to read this device. It comes with a 2-year warranty. And it has a 5400 mAh, 2 amp and 3.7 volt battery inside. So let's go ahead and unbox this now. Let me zoom out a bit. Yeah. So now there are 2 tapes holding that side. There are 2 tapes, one here and one here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it open. Okay, that was pretty simple. Okay. So tapes have been cut. So let's pull the device out. That's the device. As you can see, that's how it looks. Let me hold it from both these ends. It's going to be a little tricky. I think I'm going to pull out the device first. Yes, the device has come out first, and now let's bring the accessories. This is the cardboard box in which it comes in. So this is the Kingston Mobile Lite Wireless G3. This is the USB cable that has been provided to charge this device. It is to charge this device, and as you can see, it's got a USB on one end, USB A 2.0 and micro USB A, both female, to charge this device. And this is the micro SD card adapter that it comes with. So you can put your micro SD card in this adapter and connect it to this device. So let's check out the device first. Yes, of course, there's some paperwork here. Shows 2-year warranty, quick start guide, that's what it says. And not much. Alright, not much. They've just given images and expect you to understand how this device works and everything about this device. So it's pretty sketchy at best. Doesn't really help you much in terms of understanding what all the device can do and how to do it. And that's why the YouTube reviews are so important. So perhaps this review will serve as one of the reviews to understand the device better. So this comes with a plastic cover coating. You can remove that. The build quality is pretty decent. And let me remove all of this from the frame, and let me zoom this up a bit. Yeah. So this is the device. It's got a glossy finish on top, and it's got a matte finish at the bottom, quite grippy. It's not going to slip that easily. If you look at the dimensions, this dimension, the length, let's keep it this way. The length here, this is 4.5 inch on this side. The width here, this dimension is 3.14 inch, and the depth or the height is 0.94 inch. And in terms of the weight, it's a little bit heavy, It's 192 grams, and the Pro version, the black one with the 64 gig onboard storage, comes for 2 grams extra. So I don't think you're going to feel any difference to that. So let's see the various ports that it has. This is the place where you're going to insert the SD card or the micro SD with the adapter. It reads SD, SDHC, SDXC, micro SD, micro SDHC and micro SDXC. So, and that is of course with the adapter provided. This is the USB 2.0 port for connecting the data storage devices such as pen drives or hard drives. The hard drive, in case you connect, must be a FAT or a FAT32 or an extended FAT or NTFS. I think it can read up to a 2 terabyte hard disk, which we will check shortly. And this is the port that also allows you to charge your mobile phones and tablets. And what I'm going to do is, once we go through all the working of the device, I'm going to try something. Because right now you can either charge using this port or you can read a pen drive or a hard drive using this port. There's only one USB port. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put a USB hub in this, which has multiple USB ports, and I'm going to see if I can both charge as well as read a pen drive. And I would like to see how many hard drives can it read at a time, in case it can read more than one using the USB hub. So that is something which we need to experiment and check. I'm not sure of that. I'm not sure whether it actually does that, but this is something that we need to understand and check. And this is the power button. Where is that? Yeah, this is the power button here, and right close to that, let me zoom this more. Yeah, this is the power button, and right near the power button here you have a small hole. This is the reset toggle. You insert a pin here and keep it pressed for 12 seconds, and then you can reset the device to the factory settings. And now you see there are 3 LEDs here. Now the first one is the power LED. Now there are 2 modes to it being on. If you press this once shortly, it will blink red, and you will be able to charge your mobile phones and tablets in that particular mode. If you keep it pressed for a longer duration, then along with this globe will light up temporarily, then it will start blinking, and then it will vanish, and then the Wi-Fi LED will start powering on. And once that starts, it means that now this device is broadcasting its Wi-Fi network. And remember, it's a dual band network, so this can broadcast its Wi-Fi. So let me just show you the power situation, and let me get my cable to charge and show you how it charges the mobile phones. So let me first insert the, let me zoom out a bit to make it easy for you to see. So let's check the device by powering it on. I'm just pressing it once to see what happens. When I press it once, the power LED starts blinking red, and then if you don't connect anything to its USB port, it's going to stop, because this is the mode by which it can act as a power bank only. It's a power bank mode. And see, it stopped blinking now because you did not connect anything to this device. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to connect my phone to this device, and let's see what happens. I'm going to connect this phone, and I'm going to connect them. Okay, they're connected. Let me zoom out a bit. Okay, here you go. And you see, I did not even switch it on. What happened was, I connected this, it automatically switched on, and it is charging my phone. If you can note the charge part, it's charging it here. And the way it charges, it's a little odd, and but that's a very normal part of the device. What it does is, when you connect this to this in the charging mode, it first starts charging, then it stops charging, and then it starts charging again. So it works like that. And the moment I take this out, I take the USB out, the red light will stop blinking, because now it's not been connected to any device to charge. So this is the mode by which it acts as a power bank. Now if I keep it pressed, a long press, and I keep pressing it, now you see the globe lights up, blue light. You got to press it for about 5 seconds, and then this starts giving you the color indicating the charge. Right now it's red, that's pretty low. The indicator for this is dependent on the color. If it shows green, then it is between 51 to 100% charge. If it is yellow, it is 25 to 50. And if it is red, it is less than 25. So right now it's less than 25%. So I should be connecting this using its charging cable. And now you see the globe light blinks and the Wi-Fi starts, and soon the globe light will go off. Now if the globe light is steady, it implies that this has connected to your home network. Now so far I have not even opened it, I just opened it in front of you. So I have not connected to my home network. I'll tell you how to do that. Once I connect this to my home network, the globe light will remain steady. Right now the Wi-Fi is blue, this is red indicating the battery power, and this says that its Wi-Fi is on, ready to be connected. And let's see if we can locate its Wi-Fi. I'm right now on the airplane mode, so I remove the airplane mode, go to the Wi-Fi settings, and you see one network here, that is the MLWG33974. I hope you can see that. Right now the one that is being broadcasted is 2.4 gigahertz, and soon it will reset and then perhaps show. Yeah, now you have in fact the Wi-Fi blinked a little bit, and now it shows the 5 gigahertz also. As you can see, there are two modes to this, the 2.4 gigahertz and the 5 gigahertz. Let me zoom this a little bit so you can see that. Yeah, so the first one, MLWG33974, that's the 2.4, and the one beneath that is the 5 gigahertz. So now this is the Wi-Fi network of this. All I have to do is download its app on this and then connect any one of these Wi-Fis. I'll be connected to this device, insert an SD card or a pen drive, install the app, and then open the app, and you'll be able to see all the contents of the pen drive and other drives here. As I said, it has a 5400 mAh battery with an output of 2 amps. It has a lithium-ion battery which gives it a battery life of about 11 hours of Wi-Fi use. That is, if you don't charge phones. I would not recommend you to use this as a power bank, but it can work as a backup to your regular power bank, because its purpose is something else. It's not, it can act as a power bank for emergency situations. When the MLWG3, this one, is in its Wi-Fi mode right now, it can still charge your mobile phones. So it's not that it will only charge the mobile phones in its power bank mode, it can charge your mobile phones even at this particular stage. But there's no point in doing that, because you'll be wasting your USB port here. And so now let's see the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi that it shows is 2.4 gigahertz, 802.11 BGON, and 5 gigahertz, 802.11 AC. And the globe LED, as I said, will light up when it is in the bridge mode, implying that it is connected to your home network and it is passing the internet through the home network through this. So it can act as a router in this case. And now this device can connect to your home network either through Wi-Fi or through this Ethernet port. It also has an Ethernet port. So using the Ethernet port, you can, in case you go to a hotel or some place where you don't have Wi-Fi but you have a wired connection, connect the wired connection to this, and then you will be able to use this as a wireless network device to which you can connect your mobile phones. It will act as an access point, And but you need to, if you want to use the Ethernet, then you must connect it to a router or a router cum modem. You can't just connect it to a modem because this has its own fixed IP. You cannot configure it. Whereas if you use a modem, you'll have to configure the IP address of this particular device, and it comes with a static IP. So you have to connect this to a router. And this is the micro USB port that is used for charging the device, but you cannot transfer data through this micro USB. So this is the basic overview of this device. Now that we have powered it on, let's go ahead, install the app and connect to this device. We'll insert an SD card, we'll insert a pen drive, we'll insert a 2 terabyte hard drive. We'll try and see all possibilities in this, and then we'll be able to figure out how this device works and what are the pros and cons of this device. So let's go ahead and do it. This is my iPhone, and whatever you will see in this is going to be similar to what you will see in an Android smartphone. First, we need to install the Mobile Lite Wireless app. So first, let's go to the App Store. In your case, it could be the Play Store. Go to the search and type Mobile Lite, Lite, and automatically it gives you two options. Go with the first one. We need to go for Mobile Lite Wireless and not Kingston Mobile Lite, because Kingston Mobile Lite is for the G2 version. And yet you will get that as the first option, Kingston Mobile Lite. We don't want to go for this one. We want to go for the red one. So please remember that. You see the cloud icon in my case because I've already installed this in another of my iPhones. Otherwise, you will get this get thing. You will get this get. If you click this, if you press this, it says install, and then you install. But we don't want to install this. So I'm going to install this one. Press the cloud icon. And it's about to get over. It says open. So I'm opening this. But right now, remember, it's not connected to the drive. I'm just want to show you the overview of the app for you. So let's open the app and see what it looks like. In the home page, you see the battery indicator here. So this is the battery indicator. And along with that, you see the refresh button. So every time you insert a memory card, remove it, add a USB drive, keep pressing this and it will keep refreshing the app. The icons that you see will tell the status of the connections here. As you can see, the mobile phone is white in color, the device is the second one, and this is the Wi-Fi router. These two are grayed out. It means my mobile phone is active right now and it is not connected to the device, and the device obviously is not connected to the router. Now there are two statuses possible. One is this one, when the mobile phone is not connected to the device is not connected to the router. The second option you get is when I connect this to the device. So these two will be white and this will be grayed out. So this is connected to the device is not connected to the router. When all the three of them are white, it means they're all connected towards each other. So now if you see below this, you see the File Explorer tab and the Backup Restore tab. The first one sees the files on the SD card or hard drive when they are connected to the device, but you will be able to see these only when, right now you won't be able to see this. It only shows offline and camera roll. Camera roll is your inbuilt camera roll. Offline is the storage in this device, in this mobile phone. So whatever content is there in offline is the content that you will store in this app, in this mobile phone's memory. So right now you don't see any SD card or anything just because I have not connected anything. And I have not connected this to the device also. The Backup Restore tab helps you back up the camera roll. If you go to the settings and you describe how you want to do a backup, then this will tell you what kind of a backup you want. Do you want a backup of your camera roll or gallery in Android phones, or contacts and calendar. So these are the three options that you get to backup. So if I show you this tab, right now it's not showing anything because there's nothing, no place it can back up to. So it's not showing that, but once I connect it, you will be able to see that now. At the bottom, you will see some shortcuts. You see these shortcuts? The first is for the home screen. If you press the music shortcut, it will show you all music content in your SD card or USB drive, irrespective of the folder they may be in. So if you have 3 separate folders in your SD card containing music, this shortcut will show all music contents from all the 3 folders. The same is true for videos also. So the next one is for videos. Backup shortcut is for backing up everything from your phone based on the choices you've made for backup previously by just hitting this button. And then you have the settings shortcut. To connect to the device, you got to first of all press the power button of the device, which I showed you previously for about 3 to 5 seconds, and then you will see the globe icon light up first, and then after a while the power LED and the Wi-Fi LED light up. Now go to the Wi-Fi settings on your phone and look for the Wi-Fi of the device, and so I'll just show you the Wi-Fi settings, and there you have, and my device is powered on, and you can see there are 2 of them, MLWG3 3974, MLWG3 5G 3974. The 3974 is unique for your device, and MLWG3 is common. So if you have more than one device in your house of this type, then this starting part will be the same, this number will be different, and this number is given in your device at the back. So if you want, you can check that. This is the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, and this is the 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. So you can connect to either of them. Now what is going to happen right now is the moment I connect my phone to any one of these, I'm going to lose the mirroring option because I'm doing a Wi-Fi mirroring, and both are connected to my home network. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect my phone to this Wi-Fi of the device, and I will connect my computer also to the Wi-Fi of the device so that they can have the same Wi-Fi, and then I'll mirror again and show you what happens then. Well, as you can see now, I have connected my phone to the Wi-Fi hotspot of my device, and it says no internet connection because there cannot be one. My router, my device is not connected to the Wi-Fi of my home network. So now what we do is, first let's go and check the app once again, and let's see if there is any difference now. So we go to the Mobile Light app, refresh, and now you see the device is white. Phone is white, device is white, router is grey. So my phone is connected to the device. So when I hit the File Explorer, you notice there is a SD card, because I have inserted an SD card into this. Now let me also insert a pen drive into the USB port. So I have inserted that. Give it a little while, refresh, and see if it shows up, and there you go, USB SD card. You can see both of them, and in USB I got about 14 GB filled up, and the SD card 2.8 GB is filled up out of 3.7, and this is 119 GB total in the USB. So let's see the contents of the USB and the SD card. Let's go to the SD card first. Now what do we have? We have some DCM, some movies here, I guess. MOV files. These are some of my class videos. So let's play one of them and check the streaming ability. And
now what do you do?
My classroom.
Calculate the pH of HCl, which is 10 to the power minus 8 molar, and HCl concentration when 10 to the power minus 14 molar.
The video, no stutter, nothing. It's a small video, so perhaps no stuttering expected in this. And this is an image, opens pretty fine as if it is in the phone itself. And let's go to the USB. USB has a lot of files here, and let me play this file for you. This is one of my product reviews. It's DTX2242 review, and so the video is playing pretty fine. No stuttering, no buffering here, because these are only 1080p videos. They're not 4K. So that is how you can view the USB and SD card things. Now let's transfer something. Let's go to the SD card. I've got this thing. I want to transfer it to the USB, and I want to transfer it to my phone. So click this, and you see this icon here, this icon with the arrow. Hit that. It asks you where you want to store it. You can store it in the USB drive. SD card is already there, so no point in saving it there. Offline, this is the phone memory, and this is the camera roll. So you can save it here or here or here. Let's save it offline and check. I go offline and I say OK. And then I also want to go to my USB drive and hit OK. Now let's check the image. USB drive. Where is the image? Can't see the image somewhere here. It should be somewhere here. Let me see if it is there in the offline. Yeah, offline is there. And let us see where did it go in the USB. Can't see the USB. Perhaps it didn't copy here. Let's go back and do it again. Oh, it moved the content, I think, because I can't see it in the SD storage also. So offline, let me go here. There are 3 dots, and then you can say put it in the USB storage, and it says hit OK. And yeah, so this is the image in the USB. Right now it's in the USB flash drive. Taking a while to open because it's all about wireless connectivity, and this particular wireless connectivity, AC connectivity, is pretty slow. I think this image itself is taking so much time, and this is going to be, yeah, because that's why I could not have a thumbnail here. Wasn't there in the SD card. Offline, it moved from the offline. Okay, so that is how you move it. So moving from one to the other, and there you see it took a while, but it's there. And this, I think, is moving, and this perhaps is copy. This is copy. Yeah, copy 2. Now I got it. So I go to the SD card storage and I say OK, and I copy this again to my offline and I say OK. And let's view the contents in the SD card. Well, there's the dressing table, and in the offline mode there is the dressing table. So you can move contents to and fro from your mobile phone to this, and from this to the mobile phone, SD card to USB and stuff like that. So that works perfectly. Now another thing that we need to set up is a very important thing, that is we need to go and check out the setup. So I go to the settings tab. Let me show you the settings tab. This is the settings tab. Settings. Go to MLW setup, the first one. Go here. Now go to wireless setup. Wireless setup. And here you can change the name of your Wi-Fi of the device. MLW G33974, etc. Right now I'm leaving it on, and we must enable security. Enable security is pretty important. Enable it, put your password that you want, and so I'm putting a password that I want, and ensure that you remember it, because otherwise the device gets locked. And now what it does is it goes out from the Wi-Fi of the device, and that's why I'm going to stop now. Well, I got disconnected from my mirroring because I had to re-log in to the Wi-Fi. As you can see, I've logged back into the Wi-Fi network of the device. Still says no internet connection. That's because it's not connected to my home network, and I'm now going to show you how to do that. So we first go to the home page. From the home page, we go to the settings. Settings is here. Remember, settings, MLW setup, and then I'm going to hit the wireless network setup, and it's going to show me certain networks that are there in my home or nearby, and I have to select one of those. And once I select one of those, it will ask for the password for that Wi-Fi. I'm going to put that password and my device will reboot. So again, I'm going to get disconnected through my Wi-Fi of the device. And then what happens is I have to reconnect to the device. And once I do that, you will see the router grayed out icon in the home screen also become white. So let's do that. As you can see, this is my home network that you can see, Nikita Tattoo. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to capture that. And I hit Nikita Tattoo. It asks me for a password. So I'm going to put the password inside. I say okay. Settings saved. Now it is going to reconnect. The drive is currently not connected. Please make sure that the unit is on. Then go to the Wi-Fi settings and do it again. So I'm going to do that again. So I go back to my Wi-Fi settings and I connect back to the home network. It's asking for a password. Let me put the password and then show you. Well, as you can see, I have reconnected after hitting the home network, connecting to the home network. I have reconnected to my device, and now you see it does not show no internet connection. That's because this device now has got connected to my home network. So I'll be able to browse the net as well as browse whatever contents are there in the device. And the globe icon has lit up. It's steady. It's blue colored LED now. At this moment, you could have also connected the device through Ethernet cable with your router. The device would prefer to bridge with Ethernet over Wi-Fi. That means if you have two routers, one bridging by Wi-Fi and the other by Ethernet, then the device would bridge by Ethernet. No configuration is required. You just have to plug in the Ethernet cable and that's it. But the connecting equipment must be a router or a router cum modem. Only a modem will not do. So let's go back to the app and let's hit the refresh button. And now you see all of them are white. Phone is connected to the device is connected to the router. So they're all interconnected and I can browse everything and as well as browse the net. Let's see, I think the most easiest is Google, and there you go. So I'm able to browse the net as well as browse the contents of the device. So now we have seen how the device connects to your mobile phones or your tablets, both iOS and Android. Now let's see how it performs with your computer. Well, there are two ways of browsing the contents of the MLW G3 on your computer. The first method, which is both applicable to Mac and Windows. First, connect your computer to the network of your device, and the device need not be connected to the internet at this time. It needs to be only connected to this. But of course, now that we have already connected to the internet, so it does not matter. But even if it doesn't connect to the internet, it works. So connect to the Wi-Fi network of the device. Open up any internet browser and type the following address in the address bar: http://192.168.202.254, and remember this value remains fixed. Press enter. It's going to take a while, and once it does that, it will show you the folder. So let's wait for a little bit, and there you see SD card and USB, and you hit the SD card, and now you can see all your details here. And if you go back in your browser, you go back to the previous page, go and hit the USB tab, and you'll be able to browse everything that is there in the USB as well. It takes a bit of a time because this wireless communication is a bit slow, and of course for this particular thing it does not need the internet. So this is the USB stuff, and so back to devices it says, and you get back to your device. There's one more way of accessing, which is actually a better way, but it slightly differs in Windows and Mac. So first of all, let me show you in Windows how it's done. Close the browser. Again, connect to your device through the Wi-Fi. Now what you need to do is go to the Windows Explorer, or the File Explorer as you might call it, and go to this PC and right click on this PC and select Map Network Drive. Hit that. It asks you for a folder. You can name any, you can have any name here, XYZ, any name here, any drive name here, but other than the ones that is already in use. So don't go for C, D, E, because generally they are in use always. So now what you do is you here type // remember it's not // it's /192.168.202.254, again /USB 1. Let's say I first want to go for the USB one. Now finish, and there you have the USB appearing in your Windows Explorer. Just check this out. The USB drive is now just like any other drive in your computer, and I have an SD card from a previous thing. I think I might have to remove this because it's actually not going to work. Okay, I got back the SD card also, that's fine. But of course you have to reconfigure for the SD card again, because this is something which I had configured earlier for testing, and so this shows, and so I'm just clicking on a particular folder to see how long it takes. Let's play this movie, and let's play it with VLC.
Now what you do, calculate the
pH
pH of HCl, which is 10 to the power minus 8 molar.
Work pretty fine. So this is the way it is done in a PC. So let's see how to use the drive with the Mac. Of course, one can always use the web browser way of accessing the device, but I'm going to now show you how to use the Finder to be able to find the device. So first of all, you need to connect to the Wi-Fi network of the device. You can see MLWG33974. I'm going to connect to it. It's going to take a while. It's connected now. So you go to Finder, and in Finder you'll be able to see this device. Otherwise, what you go to do is go to just click Go, connect to server, and you need to type this 192.168.202.254. There's no need to type the things in front of it. It will automatically come in the moment you say connect, and it will ask you for the password, the Wi-Fi password of the device that you have set.
initially, and I say connect, and it's asking me which one do I want to mount. You can say SD card, okay, and SD card has been mounted, and you can see the SD card contents here. Alright, to see how the finder finds the device, once you do the connection using the finder, click go, connect to server and mount both devices. Then just click on this MLWG3, you will see both SD card and USB. Click SD card, you will see all the contents of the SD card. And this is the USB drive, you can see all the contents of the drive. So this is how you can move the contents from one to the other. So this is how the device is accessed in Mac using Finder.
That was an in-depth review of the Kingston Mobile Lite Wireless G3. There is another device that belongs to the previous generation of this category that ends with the name G2, and the only difference that it has with this device is the fact that it has only one wireless radio, which is 2.4 GHz, whereas this is dual band. Another important difference between that and this is the fact that if you remember, when we were installing the app for this, the app that we installed for this was red in color, and there was one more app, blue color. The G2 uses the blue colored app. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was the fact that it also has a Pro version. This G3 also has a G3 Pro, and the only difference between G3 Pro and this is that the G3 Pro has a 64 GB of inbuilt storage, which this does not have, and it's 2 grams heavier. Then I tested a couple of things. What I did was, I first of all connected this to my Wi-Fi router using the Ethernet cable to check whether it works with that or not, and it worked just fine. No problem at all, no problem in setting up. Just hook up your the cable of your router to this with the port that it has, Ethernet port, and then it automatically, the globe light will automatically come on, and then you take your mobile device, reconnect it to this device using its Wi-Fi, give its Wi-Fi password, and you are good to go. So it works just fine. Another thing I tested, which I didn't find in any of the previous videos made on this product, was the fact that I tried using a USB hub connected to this USB port. The idea was I wanted to connect 2 flash drives and check which one it's going to see, or is it not going to see any of those, or perhaps could see both. Obviously it could not see both, it saw only one of them, and I couldn't really guess which one it's going to see, because in my USB hub I have numbers from 1 to 10. There are 10 ports in it, and they're numbered 1 to 10. So I thought initially maybe the 1 to 10 numbering would probably help to prioritize, but no, it went for number 3 rather than number 1. So I really can't say which one it prefers, but it prefers only one of them. So you simply cannot expand its USB port by connecting a hub to it. Another thing that I wanted to test, which I could not test, and I'll tell you why, was the fact that I wanted to connect the USB hub to this and use one of the USB hub ports to charge my phone and another USB port of the hub to connect my flash drive. And I thought maybe it could see my flash drive as well as charge my phone. But the reason I could not do that test was because my USB hub itself is powered externally. So if I were to connect my phone even without connecting to this device, it would have charged it anyway. So I could not check that. So the only way to check that particular part is to have a USB hub connected to this, which is not self-charged, which is not charged externally. So we need to have that kind of a USB hub connected to this, and perhaps with that we can test that. So in case any of you do test that, please do let me know the results. As far as hard drives were concerned, I connected a 2 terabyte Western Digital hard drive. It did not read it. I connected a 1 terabyte Western Digital hard drive. In fact, with Seagate, it saw it perfectly. And it's got nothing to do with Seagate or Western Digital. It's all about being powered, whether it is able to deliver that kind of power or not. If the USB cable connected to this is able to power the device, then it will be seen. If it is not able to power the device, it will not be seen. So that could be probably the reason why I could see one of the drive, because the WD drive was 3.0 USB 3.0, and perhaps it drew more power. It was 2 terabyte. It needed more power, and this probably could not give it. But I don't really believe that, because it's anyway supposed to be used as a power bank. So I think it will be able to give a power, but I really don't know why it does not work like that. As far as video streamings are concerned, max devices you can connect is 2. If you have more than 2 devices for wireless streaming, it doesn't work. It stutters, it buffers, and everything goes haywire. So it doesn't really work well. 4K videos are a complete no. You can't stream 4K videos well with this, given the poor AC, wireless AC, which is a very obsolete kind of a wireless standard, and that is being used here. So I would suggest that don't try and stream a 4K video. 1080p HD is perfectly fine. So that's about what I did with this device. But I'm sure that Kingston is going to keep improving this device with further iterations. And some of my wish list, some of the things I would want Kingston to improve or to add on, which can also be interpreted as the things which this one lacks. First of all, how about faster wireless speeds? Don't go for wireless AC, go for the latest wireless technology and make the wireless transfer speeds higher. Then this would really, really work. The second thing is, why just have one USB port? Have multiple ones. And all of them could be for charging, or all of them could be for data transfer. So you can have multiple USB devices connected. And when we were going for multiple USB ports, why not multiple SD card ports? So perhaps you could have that. How about a bigger battery life? More battery, more juice, more time it stays powered on, more devices it can charge. And how about making it lighter? I know it's not fair to ask all of this, because some of them are mutually exclusive. But hey, what the hell, why not? We can ask for whatever we want. They may give it, they may not give it, but there's no harm in asking. So this is my wish list. And perhaps another thing that I wanted to add to this was, this charging happens through this micro USB port. So, but this does not transfer data. So I want this cable to also transfer data, because that way we can dump all the contents of the computer into this very, very fast. Wireless speeds are anyway always slower than wired speeds. And how about having a good amount of storage space within this? 64 gigs is too small in the Pro version. I think you should go for somewhere around 500 gigs. That's a minimum amount of storage that any external storage device needs. So it could be a hard drive on its own. But one important thing is, the Pro version, the one which has 64 GB of inbuilt storage, has a problem. The problem is you cannot access the inbuilt storage through your computer. And in the video you saw how we can access the drives, the SD cards and the pen drives through the computer. You cannot access the internal storage at all. The only way you can access the contents of the internal storage is by using a mobile phone. From the mobile phone you can access the internal storage. So take the file from the internal storage, put it in the SD card or the USB port, and then be able to view them on your computer. So that's a pretty bad thing. So I think they probably need to improve that a lot. So that's about this device now, and that's Kingston Mobile Lite Wireless D3 for you. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and thank you for watching this video. I'll see you soon with some other product, and don't forget to hit the like button if you like the video, And if you have any suggestions, queries, observations, anything that you would like to comment on, please drop them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.